right. You are listening to KSFS Radio San Francisco at ksfsmedia.net/radio. KSFS is an audio service of the Broadcast and Electronic Communication Arts Department at San Francisco State University. Some rights reserved under Creative Commons license. And you are listening to Gator Attack every Monday, noon to 1 with Stephen Crane and
Mercedes. Hi, everyone. Hopefully your weekend went well. So, it is October, and I, for one, am very excited because it is my favorite month of the entire year. And fall's my favorite season. It has, I think, the best holidays, Halloween and Thanksgiving, candy and food.
Yes, very nice. We have a few things planned for today. We have a what have you learned from horror movies, got a little bit of news, and hopefully some time for one of Merc's mysteries or two.
All right.
So do you want to get started with just a couple articles in the Express?
Sure.
Okay. So the big story this week, I believe, is the spike in car thefts jolts SF State. Do you drive, by the way?
Not too often. I drove today, though, so that's a little unsettling.
Have your cars been stolen or broken into yet?
No, thank God.
And have you heard about that from anyone? Or
No,
have you seen it?
I haven't heard anything.
Because apparently it's a big deal. It's up 10% since last year, which is quite a big number. So we have a few people giving their opinions. Basically, everyone says, I don't feel safe. If I get here really early in the morning, I feel safe. I feel safe closer to campus, but I see cars getting broken into all the time. I think it's more at night. One says, the last one I like, this is my favorite quote actually. It's like, if it's near campus, I feel pretty safe. It's just mainly students, so I don't really think anything of it. And then they go on to say that they park their car in the garage because they know they have security. And,
so it's not, because I park in the parking garage, so it's not in the parking garage? It's
Yeah, we're talking about the local area. The parking garage is actually pretty safe.
Park Merced area?
Because, I mean, they have those people trying to write you tickets in the garage, so they're patrolling it constantly. But outside of that, so...
Oh, mildly less worried there.
Yeah, the garage is safe, but you pay for that, obviously. And then there's a couple stories on kind of some racial and transgender issues. But I actually thought this one here was probably the kind of interesting, not the headline, but what's buried in the article. Now, the main part is transgender students reporting highest levels of sexual assault. So they've got 31%, women at 27%. But buried in here, they're talking about Title IX. Have you heard about this Title IX stuff? It's pretty recently passed.
No.
It does some interesting things which you may not realize that weren't in place before. So the policy, it adds some terms called sexual misconduct. So apparently previously this was allowed, apparently, but now it is, it prohibits the consensual relationships between students and faculty members.
Oh.
You could do that before, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's not as bad as, like, if we were high school students, because then there's...
But there's still the conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
If you're with your professor and you're like, hey, you know, that grade, you know. So there's always that. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, even though that's not the headline, even though I feel like Title IX is kind of the really interesting thing in this article. Because there's some other things that they put into place, other things like with reporting, you know, things that have happened on campus, rather than just being, well, they can't ignore it, because it's kind of like how you have like police reports so you know if there's been crime in an area. That's all that's interesting. I mean, there's always the sports news, but I leave that to the other shows.
Yeah. All right. Something interesting, you didn't bring it up, but I don't know if you've been getting those school emails. I know they happened a lot more last semester, but the sexual assaults on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, I had the number.
Kind of
it was
freaky.
actually a lot of things. It was like last year. It had the last year. It didn't have this year's numbers, I don't think. It was something like 85 incidents last year, of which 75 were just kind of resolved without investigation. The other all... So like 12 investigations, or no, that's 10 investigations. So that's a bit for one school year on a not huge campus necessarily.
Yeah, it's scary. It's super scary to me. Like, I don't know how scared you are, but
I'm actually more curious about, is that because I remember at junior college they had the breakdown of what things happened on campus, on an off-campus facility, and in the nearby area, but that's all lumped into one in this particular case. So is that 90% on campus in the dorms for all we know, or is it happening the next block over, or where is it? You know, it just says it's kind of generic because there's also off-campus facilities. I think there's one downtown, and there might be something somewhere else. And like, is it going on over there, or is that nothing's going on over there, or? You know?
yeah. Well, the most recent one I remember in the email, it said that the girl was followed into Burke Hall, and that's where she was assaulted. So
what part of it is Burke Hall by? I'm trying to think. Is that by? That's right by the parking lot, right?
No, Burke Hall is right behind the student center.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was right there in the lobby, and so it was kind of like that. People could have been walking by, like someone.
That's very on campus. That's.
You would think that like maybe someone would be able to help you, but no. No one was around at the right time.
Was it at night or something?
I think it was at night, but it wasn't super late either. I think it was like 8 or 9 or something like that. So, yeah, be on the lookout, ladies.
Use the buddy system. Make sure the buddy's a good buddy, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Did you do anything interesting this weekend? Did you go to Hardly Strictly?
No, I didn't do a lot of much. Just taking it easy. That's most of the weekends for me.
All right.
But on to maybe something lighter with the first segment you have.
Yeah.
With the why don't you present it?
All right. So we are going to be doing Have You Learned Anything from Horror Movies? It's a little thing I found. It's a list of scenarios from popular horror films. And Stephen and I are going to go through and talk about how we would deal with these situations. So without further ado, did you want to read the first?
Okay, you want me to read the question, or we both respond, or how do you want to format this?
Oh, we both just respond. It's just
Okay.
like discussion based. Yeah.
So here's question number 1. You are with a group of people going on vacation. Your car runs out of gas in the middle of nowhere. It's getting dark. You can't get a signal on your cell phone. There was little to be seen on this deserted road as you traveled, except an old house that looked abandoned, a gas station, a little girl running a lemonade stand, and an amusement park. What do you do?
I would say... But I would go to the gas station. Like, if I'm with people and there's a gas station there and the issue with my car is the gas, I would say go to the gas station. Because most likely there's only one person there and there's a group of you, and if they try to attack you, you could probably take them.
All right, let's see. What does it say? Does it just say gas station? Yeah, just a gas. It's just a generic gas station. Just go there, swipe the credit card, get out. That's a pretty easy decision. There's not like the old scary gas station or something where I'm like, well, maybe I should talk to the little girl and make sure, you know.
No, children are the scariest.
But I mean, like, if the amusement park sounds like a great place to go on a Scooby-Doo type mystery, where they're trying to like close down the amusement park to scare off the owner to collect the insurance or something.
Yeah.
But number 2, all right, you are looking to buy a house. What important information should you find out about the property before you buy it? Well, if it's, assuming this is the United States, I guess, is make sure it's not on Indian burial ground. That's probably the biggest threat that you're going to deal with. I mean, otherwise, I mean, that's where the ghosts and scary things are. If we're talking about a horror-themed problem here.
I would say, yeah, definitely also make sure no one has died a horrible death in the house, like no one committed suicide, nothing like that, because then you know, like, it's probably haunted by an evil spirit.
You can exercise that, though.
Yeah, I suppose.
The Indians one, that's different, you know. Let's see, number 3. What is the number 1 sign that it is time to move out of your current house? Well, if it's San Francisco, you have a house, you don't move out. That's just how it works. You own a property, so you're stuck. But let's assume you move out of your current apartment, we'll call it.
If I'm being attacked by a ghost, or if there's someone that keeps calling that knows everything about me. Like, if I'm getting frequent calls about myself and I don't know who's on the other end, it's just like, maybe it's time to move and disconnect this phone line.
You could just change the phone. I mean, that's not quite there. I think, let's see, current place. What is the number one sign? Oh, number one. I'd have to say when things start moving on their own. Chairs, things start floating around. That's the number one sign, because you don't want to wait until you're getting attacked. It's too late at that point. You want to be handling these things when you have these early signs of poltergeists and other scary ne'er-do-wells.
True.
Here, you want to read number 4?
You are running from a monster through the woods. Having watched many horror films, you know you should expect certain things to happen as you try to get away. Name 2 of them and tell me what actions you should take to increase the chance of staying alive if they happen.
I'm thinking Evil Dead when they try to run away. The first one when they try to run away in the forest. That's like trees. It's basically like tentacle bonded, but trees. It's something sharp to cut those branches if possible. A machete, an axe. Typical horror stuff. But number 2 would be. I guess it's the threat, right? It's the certain things you happen to try. I guess getting surrounded or suddenly. So don't ever look to the side and then suddenly look back, because it'll pop out. So always look in one direction and just keep running in that direction, because it never gets you from behind. It always gets you from in front. If it's a horror themed creature, you're never going to take it out from behind unless there's someone to see you get taken out. So because you have to see the horror. So always look straight ahead. Never check behind you. Because if you never look behind you, you'll never get killed. It'll always just be lurking.
That is interesting.
So don't look behind you. Yeah. Unless you have maybe a mirror if you have to. But always look straight ahead and just, turn with your body. So never peek.
Okay.
That's my second. And the sharp thing to cut the branches if they try to entangle you.
All right. The main thing that I can think of is tripping in the woods while you're running. So I would say if you can, make sure that you're maneuvering in such a way that you don't catch any branches.
Maybe a pair of trainers, maybe?
Yeah. But in the moment, how would you have time to put those on? It's just, just be careful when you're running, or just take off your shoes altogether and worry about all the splinters you're going to have later.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's the pile of sharp stuff if you take off your shoes. So it's it's a no-win situation if it's the shoes off, I think. I mean, you'll get halfway. You got to hope that there's someone else there who'll die first, so that you'll make it on to the next scene.
Yeah.
So what about 5 here?
While exploring an abandoned building, your companion finds a dusty old book with leather binding and what might be Latin writing carved into the spine. After he comments on the pretty inverted star with an image of a goat's head in the center of the cover, what should you do?
This is more what you should not do. You can read it, and this is more Evil Dead stuff. This is this is the Necronomicon here. I mean, clearly, even if you don't read it, even if you play the recording of someone else reading it, you're going to release the demons, and you're just going to get killed. Or maybe you'll survive with your hand chopped off, and everyone else will die, but you'll get a chainsaw. So it could work out in a cool factor, but not in a good factor.
I agree. I would say put it down. I would say let's leave, put it down. Don't look at it. Forget it happened. All right, guys. So we will return shortly.
With some more things about horror movies that we learned after this promo break.
All right.
Howdy, y'all. Rowdy up your mornings with Country by the Bay.
Wait, did you say Country by the Bay? I thought we're the city by the bay.
Well, we're bringing country to the Bay.
We're your hosts, Jackie, Janine, and Audrey.
We'll talk about
country stars, country living,
and of course, country music.
Grab a cup of joe, sit back, and listen to your new favorite country station, Country by the Bay. Only at ksfsmedia.net/radio. Every Friday morning at 8.
Yeehaw!
He hits it hard! He hits it deep! Out of here!
Welcome to The Yard. This is your host, Garrett Smith, alongside with my co-host,
Andy Gomez.
Listen to us at ksfsmedia.net/radio on Thursdays at 9 to 10 in the morning.
At The Yard, we discuss the latest hot topics in sports alongside with the music to get your juices flowing in the morning. Feel free to call us at 415-338-1532.
Let's go!
Welcome back to Gator Attack.
Hello, I'm Mercedes,
This is Steven.
and we are going through, have you learned anything from horror movies? If you guys have any responses to these, go ahead and feel free to let us know and tell us what your thoughts are.
The next question we have is, you hear a noise in the house, and you decide to investigate what caused it, and discover it was only a cat. What should you do?
First things first, it was definitely not just a cat. That's a red herring. Yeah, something is definitely in the house, and I would say I would leave.
Well,
Find the exit.
you've discovered it's a cat at this point, so I'd say it's a cat. So there's no issue. I mean, if you hear a second noise, then you got to follow up. But I'd say play it safe. This one, it's if we assume that we're given the facts here, then we're fine.
Okay, that's fair.
What about if the power has just gone out? What is the worst room to search?
I guess this one depends on where you're living. If you have a basement or an attic, obviously stay away from those ones. But if you live in a normal house, like a California house, I've never had a basement or an attic, so I'm not really sure on this one.
I think the answer is the lobby of the hotel.
The lobby of the hotel.
Yes, if the power's out. If you remember, Jack Nicholson's going to come out with that axe and he's going to get you right in the chest. So that's my response to that. All right, so we have our next question here is, all right, so the power's gone. All right, to escape a crazy man in a nondescript pale mask, you enter an old farmhouse through the storm doors of the cellar. You manage to lock the storm doors from the inside, but when you look up the stairs to the doorway leading to the main level, you realize it has no door to bar. What do you do?
Man, I am stumped. I don't know. Cry?
Well, I see three options here. Well, what you can do is you can wait at the door. Well, I forget if the pale mask guy, he's a knife guy. He's not an axe guy. So you can wait near the door. You're not going to get an axe, in the face if you're waiting by the door, the storm cellar door. And then you wait for him to appear on the stairs, and then you run out the storm cellar door. Because there's only one of him, so he can only be one place at a time. So unless there's a second one, well, then you're in big trouble. There's a second one. Or you can try to hide and then run up the stairs. Or you can prepare your last stand. You're in a basement. There's probably some saw blades. There's something that you can probably, a trap you can rig up maybe. That sounds like, but I like the wait for him to walk to the other side, just wait by the door, because otherwise you're stalemate. I mean, I guess unless you starve to death first from just both waiting outside a door. I mean, maybe he had a meal before you did. He'll last a little longer, but I think you've locked that one. You know that's safe. You just wait for him to come around. And then you double back.
Good plan.
There's nothing they can do if they're by themselves. I mean,
That is true. I don't know. I am terrified of knives, so I'd rather not approach the person with the knife. I don't know how that would help me. I would still end up getting stabbed anyway.
you don't need to approach him though, because remember, you're behind the storm cellar door, which is locked. And that's on one side. Then there's the other door, which is not lockable. So you're staying by the locked door. Wait for them to go to the unlockable door, and when they appear in that doorway, they're across the room. So you're gonna have to get within, 20 feet of them probably. But I think that's better than getting within potentially 1 foot of them if you try to run out the other door. Because when you don't see them, they run twice as fast.
Oh, that is true.
If you look at them, they can only walk though, menacingly.
All right.
Next we have, finish this statement and explain your answer. Never stand in, on, above, below, beside, or anywhere near a what?
Never stand in, on, above, below, or beside. Staircase.
Okay, I can see that. You could fall down the stairs. I would say any heavy machinery.
Oh.
because I feel like it will suddenly turn on when you're standing on it. Not even by the mysterious killer. It will just be accident. It'll just be what's the one where everybody just dies randomly? What's that one? It's like total. No, it's Final Destination.
Oh my God, yes.
If it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
That is so absolutely true. And I had forgotten all of my fears, and now they are back.
I remember seeing I was like, oh, this is a big series, and I saw something on TV or something once, and I just remember it was a racetrack, and then I remember like a tire hit someone and cut them. I'm like, the tire's not that heavy. It would hurt them and it would break all their bones, but it doesn't cut you. It's a blunt thing. Like it was comedy, I thought. But.
I think the scariest kill with that was when the guy was trying to escape his apartment that was on fire, and he was going down the fire escape, and he fell down, and the ladders went through his eyes. That hit a nerve. That hit a nerve.
Like the ladder spaced perfectly to hit both eyes. Like the ladder's pretty at least a foot wide.
It hit one of the.
One of them went through one eye.
Yeah.
And so it didn't get both.
Yeah.
Oh, it did or didn't?
It didn't.
Okay. Because I was like that's a skinny little ladder. I'm thinking like a little rabbit ladder or something. One of those carnival shows. Let's see. While walking along the beach, your friend found an antique necklace. Great. And has been wearing it proudly each day during the cottage vacation. Okay. Lately, they've been sleeping more, looking pale, wincing at bright lights, and at dinner they surprise you by speaking another language you didn't know they had studied. What do you do?
I'm assuming it's too late to take the necklace off and let everything get back to normal.
You can certainly try. So this is what do you do?
sure.
So you can try to take the necklace, I suppose. It might work.
I feel like at that point they would probably attack me if I tried to take the necklace off. Maybe I could do it while they were
But
sleeping.
still, if you're successful, I would think you'd at least reduce, if not successfully change things, hopefully. But I would say I'd say try to take it off, but also have let's see, what kind of creature? Well, they're not really a vampire in this case, so the stake is not going to work. I'm not sure how you're going to deal with this one.
I feel like they might be possessed by that necklace.
It might be time to just leave the cabin, let the authorities deal with it, It depends how much you care about this friend, I think. So let's see. I think we can fit in one more and then do a little break. Let's see. Okay, you are watching television. The image flickers and loses its cable connection. You notice an image is slowly emerging from the static on the screen. Your friend happily exclaims, "Oh good, the picture is coming back." What do you do?
I feel like I know this reference. Isn't it from?
It's like the thing with the long-haired girl.
Yeah, and she comes out of the TV, right, like she's coming out of a well, and that's the same one where you shouldn't watch the video, otherwise she'll be after you, right?
Yeah, but we're not watching a videotape. We're just watching TV at this point. But this might be a
TV.
Poltergeist reference, because there was a TV thing in that, I think, if I remember right. But that's an old one.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Well, I'd say, first of all, if you're getting static from a TV, since we no longer use analog television signals, you don't get static anymore. So you're already, something weird's going on already. So it might be best to just turn off the TV and leave, because digital signal is just a blank screen usually, from my experience at least. It's just 1 or 0. Actually, why don't we do a few more of these after this break?
All right.
In a world that already exists, in a time that is not very specific, and on a radio station that doesn't actually have a radio signal. KSFS Radio. Free for all.
Aw, man, is she crying again?
Yeah, we should probably go cheer her up.
Megs?
Megan?
Open the door.
Buddy, it's gonna be okay. Wait, what did she say?
It's the last chaos show of the semester.
You should be super excited. Don't be sad. You planned a great show, right?
Yes.
Who's gonna be there?
Bobby and Traveling Ills and Otter Girl and Sebastian Sheldon.
Oh, awesome.
Wait, when's the show?
It's on Wednesday from 6 to 9 in the depot.
Where's the depot?
Bottom of Caesar Shop It.
Hey, yeah, and there's that ticket giveaway too, right?
Twin Shadows tickets. They're really cool.
Man, I can't wait.
Yeah, you guys are right. It's gonna be really, really great.
Oh, I know what'll cheer you up. Let's go get burritos.
Hey guys, don't make Megan cry. Come to Chaos at the Depot.
Streaming live at ksfsmedia.net/radio. Wednesday, April 15th, 6 to 9 p.m. Embrace the chaos.
Welcome back to Gator Attack. Stephen Crane, and
Mercedes.
every Monday, noon to 1.
This is true. So,
What do we have next, Mercedes?
we have got, continuing on with the Have You Learned Anything from Horror Movies, the next question is, you have just shot the crazed psychopath 5 times, twice in the head, twice in the chest, and 1 in the leg. He has fallen dead on the floor. What do you do?
Well, in this case, we've been told that he's fallen dead on the floor. It's not a mystery, so we're fine. If it said he's fallen on the floor, it says he hasn't fallen dead on the floor, it said he's fallen on the floor, then we just keep shooting, right? Or we run. But he's fallen dead on the floor, so we're clearly safe. We can just go and remove the mask and see who the killer is.
All right, that's fair. I would still have to be skeptical, though. I would probably want to leave as soon as possible just in case this is just like a lapse in time and he's going to get up and do the last scare type thing. But yeah, I think your response is pretty good.
Okay.
There is a corpse in a coffin. Buried with it is a rosary, a dead cat, a dagger, and a wilted rose. You have to take something. What do you take?
I am going to take, or is it's buried with the rosary. The rosary's not on it, though. Now, the rosary, that could be doing something to keep it dead. The cat, maybe, if it's an Egyptian thing. The rose, maybe, but I can't see the dagger having the same importance in terms of, like, mystical things, so I think the dagger would be the safest thing to take.
I agree. I do agree. Because I feel like...
Unless the dagger is a cross. If it's acting as a cross, then maybe the dagger... That's the only thing I can think of the dagger being a dangerous one to take. Then you at least won't get daggered if you take the dagger, right?
That's true. I feel like the wilted rose would have something to do with, like, some type of...
It's like garlic or something, maybe. Like it feels like it's a plant. It feels like there's something that it's providing there.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if the dagger, maybe it's a silver dagger. I don't know. Because it's just a corpse in a coffin. We don't know if it's werewolf, if it's vampire, if it's zombie. There's a lot of things that it could be. So, what's the most dangerous? What can we run away? If it's a zombie, it's actually not that scary. It's just like I would just walk away, you know. Unless it's a runner, you know. But that's not usually. That's more of a modern invention. The running zombie.
All right. Moving on to the next one. A monster is chasing you. To your left is your car, to your right is your house, and straight ahead is your neighbor's home. Where don't you go?
How far is the monster away from me is such a big question because the car seems like a great one if you have the time. But obviously you can probably... but then again, unlocking a car and unlocking a house it's about the same amount of time. I'm thinking... In my case, I have to go with the house because it's an apartment. I have an elevator, so I can get in the elevator. The elevator can close just in time, and I can get up to the top floor, and it'll take at least a few minutes to give me some time before I can figure out my next move.
All right. I would have to say I would go to my car because I don't know. If you're going in your house, you're just trapped in your house. If you're in your car, at least you have a way out. And you wouldn't want to go to your neighbor's house because, one, what if he had gotten to your neighbors beforehand? And two, what if your neighbors aren't home? Then you would have wasted that time running over.
Yeah, you'll be banging on the door as you die, like the person in the beginning of a horror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about the car, but I'm like, wait, in my particular case, I have to back out the car and then go, so I can't just go. So that's too much time, you know.
That is true.
So what else you got for me?
You are babysitting. The killer keeps calling you on the phone. What should you do?
Okay, we know they're a killer, and they're calling on the phone. I would go to my local AT&T and get the number blocked. And then maybe contact the police and say, hey, there's this creepy dude calling me. Just hang out over there until they take care of it. Because, I mean, you know, they're too full of themselves. They're going to still creepily call you. They'll just be outside the police station instead of outside of your house, you know?
So you would leave the house?
Yeah, leave the house.
I'm assuming this is happening at night. Otherwise, it wouldn't be too unsettling. Because if it's during the day, I don't know. I feel safe during the day.
I mean, you ask yourself to get picked up, assuming this person's waiting for you outside. Mm-hmm. I mean, then, you know, if that's the case, you just put the odds in your favor and let their hubris take them out. I mean, they always go for it. It's always like their own downfall is that they overstep. They think they can pull it off, but they don't, you know. So at first they have the advantage, but then it slowly shifts and they keep trying.
All right.
I mean, persistence can be good sometimes, but not always. So next we have, 5 of us are trapped in a large mansion with something that has already killed off the other companions. Oh wait, so 1 left out of 5 or 5 remaining? 5 or you are trapped. I guess 5 remain. You managed to find 3 flashlights, a baseball bat, and of course the switchblade your creepy friend always brings with him on trips for some reason. You are all in a bedroom on the 2nd floor planning your next move. What is your plan? So clearly you're dividing up these resources and then deciding, do we stick together? Do we split up? What's going on? And then who goes with who?
I would want to stick together, but that's probably just because I'm a baby and I don't want to be left alone because I know in a horror movie situation, I would probably be one of the first people to die if I didn't stick with someone like who's crazy awesome. Yeah. So I would say we should stick together, distribute the things evenly. If there's, everyone would be holding at least one thing. I'd probably get a flashlight. But yeah.
All right, maybe we can go a little better here. Maybe we can do something with these items. Maybe we can put like a flashlight, like have someone with a teams, baseball bat and flashlight, the switchblade and flashlight, and 1 flashlight looking behind us, and just slowly go our way. And so I guess that leave. Okay, everyone gets something then. So. Because actually a flashlight, you can bash, assuming this is like a full-size flashlight, you can hit something with a flashlight. It's like a little baton. Mm-hmm. So I think that's your best bet. Or if we're looking at it for ourselves, what we could do is we take the baseball bat and or just the flashlights, because you're not going to win the fight, so don't worry about the switchblade and the baseball bat, right? So you just take the flashlights and then you send off your other companions 1 by 1 to go into different parts of the mansion if at least one other person, because if you're the 2, you'll at least be the last alive, right? Mm-hmm. So if we're looking out for ourselves, that would be the way. You head one direction, have them head the other, and make sure they're separate though. They cannot be in a group. They must be individuals so that they will be picked off 1 by 1. And then that would increase your chances probably to escape, not to overcome the beast, right? It's something that is killed off. So it could be a person, I guess. So, but actually then you need at least 3 people in your group, because if the something is one of the people in the group, then you need at least a 3rd person, otherwise you'll get killed if you're just 2 of you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was a really complicated, convoluted answer. But we could use a little bit of a break.
All right, we'll be right back. This is Gator Attack.
On KSFS.
Your room, the Board of Health is going to condemn it.
The Board of Health doesn't even know about your room. What's more, they don't care.
You know, if you keep making that face, it's gonna freeze that way.
Not unless you're someplace really, really cold. Actually, a lot of the warnings moms hand out are a bit exaggerated.
If you don't get your blood pressure checked, you could have high blood pressure, not even know it, and you could die from a stroke.
But she's right about that one. Fact is, high blood pressure contributes to 200,000 American deaths each year. And a third of those who have high blood pressure don't know it. If they did, it'd be simple to treat. Call the American Heart Association at 1-800-AHA-USA1 or visit AmericanHeart.org on the web to learn more. Better still, ask your doctor to check your blood pressure.
If you run with those scissors...
It's the least you can do.
Welcome back to Gator Attack on KSFS.
I'm Mercedes.
This is Steven. We're just working on what have you learned from horror movies. And I have just realized I've got a little bit, check the audio on this, it might be a little high, but we've got some background horror music actually. Computer. Or actually, yeah, it's panel 2 to it. All right. Just adjust if you need to. So we were just on Zombies Have Risen from the Dead. Where is the best place to survive this sudden apocalypse? And note, you must remain on Earth, so no moon base.
All right.
But then there's just moon zombies, so I don't think it's that, bad.
So this is not an original answer. There was actually this young boy that I babysit, and he had like this whole plan about a zombie apocalypse, and he had a really good plan. He said that he would move to an island because there's less chance of people being there, so less chance of infected, unless the animals can get infected. So then there's that you have to worry about. But I would say I would go with his answer, probably an island.
See, that is a good first thing, but like I remember like a lot of times the zombies, they'll just walk under the wall. I mean, if you're in a remote Pacific island, it would take a while before they got there because they get stuck on the sea floor and stuff. But I remember like people finding little islands, but then they just slowly cross and they crawl up on the shore, and it'll delay. I think what you got to do is same idea, just a little bit different. You got to maybe have an island nearby, would be nice, but basically oil rig, because they can't climb ladders.
Interesting.
But ashore, I mean, I guess if it was if it had cliffs on all sides, then the island would work, but it has to be impassable terrain as far as I'm concerned. Because like a lot of the oil rig, there's usually a ladder. Usually it's like you got a helicopter in, and they have all those supplies because they're out there for months at a time. So if you're just a person, you last for quite a while.
All right.
So let's see. Excluding sports equipment, tools, power or otherwise, including axes and knives, what is the best household item to use as a weapon against a flesh and blood monster? And I think this is a pretty easy one.
I would say is the best household item to use as a weapon?
Household, it's got to be fairly common. It can be uncommon, let's say, but it believable.
Okay.
It's got to be improvised.
Gotta be improvised.
So you can't say the family heirloom sword doesn't work.
Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm going straight to hair straightener?
Hair straightener?
Or like a wand, because if you plug it into the wall and they get close enough to you, you just jab them and it's really hot, so they get burned and stabbed.
But they're not that sharp, though, usually.
Yeah,
Are
but
they?
if the adrenaline is hitting me, I imagine that I would be able to, like, push it in far enough and with enough velocity that it would make a little indent. I don't know. I'm scared. It's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I might have to provide a second answer. You can tell me. I think if you'll accept answer number 1, I say cricket bat.
Cricket bat?
Yes. Better than a regular, because it's heavier than a baseball bat, so it has more blunt force going for it. Because it's almost like a 2x4 with a handle. It's kind of what it is. But that may not be. If we're going to talk about average American home, I might have to give a second answer. What do you think?
Maybe a rolling pan or rolling.
Rolling pin, you mean?
Yeah, rolling pin.
I don't know. That thing's that snap in half so quick. And I think it says no sports equipment. Oh, that's sports equipment. I lose already. I gotta redo that. Oh man, it says no sports equipment or tools, excluding sports equipment, tools, and knives. So none of that works. That's tough. Maybe a boom mic arm. That looks pretty heavy and metal. That's what we have here. That's what we're dealing with. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to hit him with the phone. I mean, so boom mic arm is the answer for me.
Okay.
And let's see, a couple more left here. So our group is being stalked by vicious creatures. Has decided to split up. Smart. You have to pair up with one of them. Which one do you pick as your partner? The science geek, the jock, the cheerleader, the hoodlum, or the quiet pale girl?
I would say the science geek. That's my best bet. I don't know. And my second would probably be the jock because he's strong, but the science geek probably has some, like, practical way out of a problem that I wouldn't be able to think of.
He'll explain the situation, but I don't think he'll solve it. Like, clearly, this is the whatever it is, and maybe he'll even have an idea, like oh, if we just do this or that, it'll work. The jock, he'll punch at and get torn in half, whatever this thing is. The cheerleader will just scream and get caught or whatever. The hoodlum, he might be. I think from a story perspective, I think I gotta go with the quiet pale girl. She seems the least suspected.
Really?
Yes. She might have some dormant powers that are going to get activated later on in the story. Suddenly, she's about to get hit, and then suddenly her eyes glow, and just there's like an aura around her, and just everything dies. That's not us. So that could be useful, because it's not the cheerleader. She's just quiet, and she's pale though. There's something going on here. I'm not going to die when I'm around her. She might be the final boss, kind of thing. Like, she might be the cause.
Yeah, well, that would be what I'm afraid of. Like, if everyone else is, like, has been killed already, and then it's revealed, like, she was the evil one the whole time.
It could be, but you want to be right next to her, right? So, and you'll be the one that finds out. Like, that's what happened in that one where they're at the high school, and then the one girl was, like, the creature. It's an old one, and they had like the cocaine, and if they like stabbed the creatures with the cocaine, it would like it would overload them, and they would like freak out.
I don't think I've seen this one.
What's
it called?
I don't remember, but it was a pretty popular one, and like so like there was like this thing where like, oh, we all got to like do coke or whatever so that they could figure out if they're infected.
Wow.
And then like like because she's a creature, she like undoes the bottom of like this pen filled with it with her pinky, and then it falls out the bottom, so it looks like she did it, but she didn't. So it's kind of like. But it was really weird.
Be on the lookout for that one. That sounds really interesting.
Yes. I just remember because it was a high school thing, and it had like the kind of like these kind of characters in it, and I think she might have been the cheerleader though, if I remember right. But here is our final one. It is taking into consideration all of the horror films ever made. Who or what would be the most dangerous, scariest person/creature to have to fight off or escape from? And this is just films. Because there's definitely some scarier stuff I can think of that's not in films.
You know what I would have to say? The Thing.
The Thing. That's the clown one, right?
No, that's the one where it's like, it's this thing that can change into, like, it could look like a person or anything.
Is
so
that where they're in the
really
Arctic
suspect.
thing?
Yeah.
I never saw them, but I know about that one.
I would have to say, because you don't know. Like, it could look just like your sister or your brother, something like that. It could be your dog. Like, you don't know.
That makes me think of like a person version of the Sphere.
I'm not sure what that is.
The Sphere was kind of, it was like that in terms of, it wasn't a creature specifically trying to kill people, but it was like if they looked into this Sphere thing, it was like kind of a science fiction-y thing, then basically what they thought of would happen. And if that was something really bad would happen. So they would basically get themselves killed and stuff.
Oh, wow. I'll have to check that one out.
But it's unfortunate it's creatures, because like I thought, it's funny, Sphere, also Cube. You ever see that?
I haven't seen
Or they're
that, no.
trapped in like these cube things, and like there's all these traps where everyone just gets horribly mutilated. That's pretty much it there. But it has to be a creature. It has to be a creature. So it has to be person/creature. All right. Fight off or escape from, and it has to be a movie. I'd actually have to say like a Twilight vampire.
A Twilight vampire?
Because they're fast. They can run and they've got super strength. They're not like, oh, you can just jab a stake in them. They'll totally block it.
Wow, that's
they're
really
like Superman basically. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that is true. And then their skin is rock, so I don't even think a stake
And the
would
same
work.
thing where there's the I think the True Blood vampires. They're the same way where they're like they have superpowers. Like instead of just being undying,
Wow,
they're like way beyond that.
that's a really interesting answer.
So specifically those kind of vampires.
Okay.
Because like I could take on a blade vampire, like one of those. Like they're just undying. If you get them right, you got them. But those other ones, like that's rough. Like even if you got 12 on 1, they can just run away, just fly off. But they don't. I don't think they have flying powers. Or they just have super jump, right? They don't turn into bats in that.
In Blade?
No, not Blade. Blade, I mean they're traditional kind of vampires.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like either Twilight or True Blood vampire.
I think they can. Yeah, they can do like
They can
super
do bat.
jumps.
They can turn to bat. Oh, they can do. I mean, they do super jumps rather than flying.
Oh yeah. They
'Cause
can't
they
fly.
don't- yeah. Okay. What about you? Or did?
Yeah. Well, the Thing was my big guess.
Oh, the Thing. Yes,
Yeah.
the Thing. Yes, I forgot about it all together.
Got caught up in your vampire tales.
That concludes what we have learned from our horror movies. And this would be an excellent time for either promo, PSA, whatever you got ready to go.
All right. See you in a bit, audience.
Welcome back to Gator Tech from our Not Quite PSA.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird. Anyway, what do we got going on next, Steven?
We have just enough time to do a little bit of Merc's Mysteries. So we have a choice here. You can do San Paulo Sickness or Bloody Mystery.
Bloody Mystery, all the way.
Okay, that's a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to be quick on this one. So let us see. So first, we're gonna have to have a little chat with Commissioner Gordon.
All right.
And actually, could you hit the music? That should be good. Yeah. So you're gonna have to walk into his office. Are you ready for him?
I'm ready.
So, how did the last case go, Merc?
It went okay. We got
Okay.
it at the end.
Unfortunately, you're talking out of your rear.
I am. You got me.
You're in denial, and you need therapy. But I think I have a case that you can handle.
Oh, geez. Thanks again for giving me all these second chances.
He throws the case on the table. You can take it now.
Oh,
It looks like you've got some tickets to New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Apparently, there's been some mysterious noises that you're going to investigate.
All right. I'm up for the job.
So you're out in New Zealand, and you're at the location that you've been given, where you're going to investigate that. It is the Institute of Environmental Science and Research.
Okay.
You hear a crack.
Oh, what was that?
Then nothing.
Oh.
So obviously you're going to have to get closer. So how do you want to handle this? You could stealth it. You could try to go like through the front door, or how do you want to do this?
I guess I'd just walk through the front door.
Okay. You're in the lobby, and on your left there is a locker room. On straight ahead there's a security door, and to the right there's a door labeled HVAC.
I want to go to the HVAC door.
Okay, so you enter the room, and it's kind of like a boiler room, and it's HVAC, so heating, ventilation, air conditioning, that kind of thing. There's kind of, it's kind of old school. They got like some coal, like for the boiler. There's kind of like a ventilation shaft, and that's about it.
All right. All seems satisfactory in here. I think I'm going to go back to the lobby, actually.
Okay, back in the lobby. Got some a scientist walking through the front door. He walks up to the security door, punches in a code, heads through.
Did I see the code?
No.
Oh, darn. Could I knock on the door, maybe?
I don't think that's a very... You can try. Certainly try.
Where is everybody? I mean...
They're probably past that security door in the main area. You're just in the lobby right now.
I'm gonna try and knock on the door.
No response.
Oh, darn it.
We got another person coming in up to the door. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna approach them. I want to talk to them.
Oh, hey. Were you trying to get in? Did you forget your code again?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I'll let you right in. But don't forget, you should go put on your lab coat in the locker room. I'll wait here for a second.
All right. I will do that. I'll be right back.
All right, so you're dressed up. You even find a little badge with got some security clearance on there. Comes back, he lets you in. So what part of the facility are you doing research in? You hear a crack.
Oh, just I'm new, so they haven't really figured out where to put me yet.
Okay, yeah, great. Listen, I'll see you at the break. Yeah, seemed really cool. So later, he goes off down to the right. You hear another crack and a squeal.
What is that?
Louder this time because you're inside, obviously.
All right, I'm
gonna
gonna follow the
source?
sound. Yeah.
All right, you follow the source. You come up to a door. You hear a loud crack. It sounds like a gunshot and a scream.
Can I open the door?
You can't open the door, but there is like how like on like schools how they have that little like rectangular glass where most of the door's covered, but there's that little glass you can see through.
I'm gonna peek through it.
All right. So now you see there's some scientists. It's the room looks completely clean. Okay. Some people take